Hello everyone. Our topic for today is the legal mandates for God. All right. So let's start. So our main concern or discussion for this video is the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. So this is also known as CEDAW. So CEDAW, it was adopted in 1979 by the UN General Assembly. It's often described as an international Bill of Rights for women. This convention is an international legal instrument that requires countries to eliminate discrimination against women and all girls in all areas and promotes women's and girls' equal rights. It's often described as the International Bill of Rights for Women is one of the key international agreements which guides the work of United Nations in achieving gender equality and empowering all women and girls. There's also a youth version for that which is known as the CEDAW Youth. By accepting the convention, the states commit themselves to undertake a series of measures and to end discrimination against women in all forms. Discrimination against women is it's usually defined as any distinction, exclusion, or restriction which is made on the basis of sex, which is the effect or purpose of impairing or nullifying the recognition, enjoyment, or exercise by women. It's irrespective of their marital status on the basis of equality of men and women, of human rights and fundamental freedoms in political, economic, social, cultural, civil, or any other field. So the main goal of this convention is to incorporate the principle of equality of women and men in their legal system. So we would like to abolish all discriminatory laws and to adopt appropriate ones prohibiting discrimination against women. So this is also looking to establish tribunals and other public institutions to ensure the effective protection of women against discrimination and to ensure elimination of all acts of discrimination against women by persons, organizations, or enterprises. The advantages of CEDAW is that it's also known as the Treaty for the Rights of Women. So therefore, it's a tool which helps women around the world to bring about change in their daily life. In countries that have ratified the treaty, CEDAW has proved valuable in opposing the effects of discrimination. It has proved invaluable in opposing the effects of discrimination, which includes violence, poverty, lack of legal protections, along with the denial of inheritance, property rights, and access to credits. The states that ratified the convention are legally obliged, firstly, to eliminate all forms of discrimination against women in all areas of life, and secondly, to ensure women's full development in all advancement so that they can exercise and enjoy their human rights and fundamental freedoms. So the Committee of CEDAW must allow to scrutinize its effort to implement the treaty by reporting to the body at regular levels. So let's talk about the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action. It is a landmark document for advancing the rights of women and gender equality worldwide, which was agreed during the Fourth World Conference on Women in 1985. The international community came to a consensus and agreed to a comprehensive blueprint of commitments supporting the full development of women and their equality with men in 12 areas of concern. First, we have women and poverty, we have education and training of women, women and health, violence against women, women and armed conflict, women and economy, women in power and decision making, institutional mechanisms, human rights of women, women and media, women and the environment, and the girl child. So, this platform for action imagines a world where each woman and girl can exercise her freedoms and choices, realize all her rights, such as to live free from violence, to go to school, to participate in decisions, and to earn equal pay for work. The Beijing Platform for Action, which is still forward looking at 20, offers important focus in rallying people around gender equality and women's empowerment. Its promises are necessarily ambitious, but over time, and with the end accumulating energy for new generations, which they are within reach. The 1987 Constitution in Article 2, Section 14 states that our state recognizes the role of women in nation building and shall ensure the fundamental equality before the law of women and men. Following from constitutional provisions and subsequent efforts, it broadens its principles. Numerous legislations were enacted that relates to the various aspects of women and gender concerns, including the Gender and Development Law, which requires 5% of the government agencies. Further, gender and development frameworks and mainstreaming have been initiated. So, one sample case regarding this topic is RPB versus the Philippines. In this case, a case of sexual violence against a disabled woman who was mute and had a hearing disability. When RPB was 17, she was raped by her neighbor. In the course of the investigation and trial, RPB was not given translator support to enable her to participate in the investigation and only limited assistance in the trial proceedings. The trial court relied on many rape myths during the trial, and the court also questioned RPB's credibility. In its view, she had not responded to the attack in the manner expected. She had not summoned every ounce of her strength and courage to thwart any attempt to besmirch her honor and blemish her purity. The court was particularly critical of RPB's failure to even attempt to escape or at least to shout for help despite opportunities to do so, which in its view casts doubt on her credibility and renders her claim of lack of voluntariness and consent difficult to believe. The CEDAW committee affirmed that stereotyping affects women's right to a fair trial and urged the state party to ensure that all criminal proceedings involve rape and other sexual offenses are conducted free from prejudices or stereotypical notions regarding the victim's gender, age, and disability. The committee also called on the Philippines to institute effective training of the judiciary and legal professionals to eradicate gender bias from court proceedings and decision making. So, in summary, this convention provides the basis for realizing equality between women and men and ensuring equal access to both of them, both in political and public right, including the right to vote, to stand for election, for education, health, and employment. So, this convention is the only human rights treaty which affirms the reproductive rights of women and targets culture and tradition as influential forces shaping gender roles and family relations. It actually affirms women's rights to acquire, change, or retain their nationality and the nationality of their children. And the countries actually have ratified or acceded to the convention are legally bound to put its provisions into practice. So everyone who submitted or who participated in CEDAW is committed to submit national reports to the CEDAW committee. So CEDAW has many advantages, and actually as to today, in the modern days, in present days, women and men have started to be equal in political rights and their public life. Although it may not have been perfect yet, or it may still not be perfect, but we sure have been improved because of the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. So a lot has improved from our past traditions where women cannot vote. Now all the women can vote. Where women can only enter into specific jobs. Now there have been a lot of opportunities for women already. So that's it. Thank you so much. And we still have many reports to cover together with my colleagues. So please stay tuned. Thank you.